My name's Healey. I'm originally from Hawke's Bay. I left there when I was pretty young, a few years ago. Been in Auckland now for almost 30 years. And yeah, I love it here. Oh, it's quite an interesting day because I'm a little bit insomniac. So I'm up about 2, 3 o'clock. If I have a sleep in, it'll be about 4 o'clock. I usually get up and have a little bit of a meditation just to get my legs operating, and then head down to my little home gym, do a brief workout just to get the motor skills moving, get the heart rate up, and then I leave the gym about 5 o'clock, shoot down to the park, meet up with my people that I'm helping transform to take to New York. And there's multiple different types of activities that we do, and then I take them out into the middle of the park where it's nice and dark. We can hear the city noise on the outside, but right there, it's all about them. There is no greater reward than looking at someone's eyes and knowing that they would never have that opportunity, and you provide that. In the accident phase, I spent 2 years on the streets of Auckland, and I would get up at 1 a.m. and I'd make my way into the city. And it would take me hours to do a kilometre, and I would just drag myself. Anything, a tree branch, the gate posts, letter boxes, and I'd just pull myself all the way into town. I'd actually go to Starship Hospital because my granddaughter was there, right? She spent 3 years in Starship. That was her home. And so how wrong was it for me to complain about my injury or things that I was going through when she was in there fighting for her life? That was the first part of the journey. I was not this person before I started. I was a hardcore, trucky, arrogant, overweight, you know, and that's where I was. That's where I would never return to. Influence crew. Look, I'm going to bubble up now because I love it, eh? And that was born 7 years ago. Kaupapa behind that was purely this: no one gets left behind. Second, everyone must pay it forward. If you want to train with us, if you want to be influenced by us, you must pay it forward. And where does that happen? Within the home. There are fathers with their sons. There are grandmothers with their daughters. There are daughters with their mums. That's what the whole kaupapa about influence is about. It's about influencing the environment within the home first before you go out and try and change the world.
2, 1, let's go.
The journey was mine of a concept that I had on the aeroplane on the way home. And I just completed the New York Marathon. Wouldn't it be great if I could take a few people back to see what I saw? And I saw a different part of the marathon after doing everything. I put a post out and asked a few people. 350 people applied. The goal was 22 months. Let's go to New York. Brought them all together down at camp, explained what was required. They were happy, and then broke them into fitness groups based on the same regime that I started with 7 years ago. When we get to New York, they will run that marathon, or they will walk that marathon in that group, that family unity that they've built over the last 20 months. So I run with a group, I get to the finish line, I push them over, and I run back and I go and get the next group. The last New York Marathon I was on the course for 10.5 hours, saving New Zealanders who were by themselves, who were left behind. So with influence, no one gets left behind, ever. That's the journey. What happened to me? I had a work accident. Steel fell from a truck towards an employee. I put him behind the forklift. He was safe, and the steel just crushed me. Broke my back in 3 places. Yeah, I had this massive lump on my back, and this whole side was paralysed. One thing that knocked me back was when they came and they says, right, today we're going to teach you how to live with your disability. And I kind of got upset, and I tried to stand up, and I fell out of the bed. And they says, you need to get back over, and we need to start the process. And I says, no. I didn't give myself permission to be disabled. When I do, then I'll call you. I kind of crawled out of hospital on my elbows and my feet just dragged behind me. I went to rehab. I picked every healing, I guess, or looked for everything that could help me walk again. It came in the form of something that I never thought I'd do, but it was hypnosis, understanding endorphins and how they're activated through neurotransmitters, and that stuff blew me away. I remember my first hypnosis series, and they says, what are you doing? And I says, I'm standing at the top of this cliff looking down, and I could see all these clouds, and behind me was these real tall granite rocks. They were massive. They would have been about 300 metres high, and they were touching both my shoulders. They says, what do you want to do? And I says, I'm going to jump. I want to jump. I need to jump. I says, what are the corridors? Your barriers. You can jump if you want. And I took this leap of faith, and I ran. And I ran and I ran and I ran. And while I was out, apparently all my muscles in my body and my legs that had degenerated were all firing like a runner. And I knew. I went, that's me. Teach me about endorphins. The body can do some amazing things. So part of my get-up process every morning is that little time for myself. 5 minutes, I lay there, I close my eyes, and I go into this little hypnosis state. And I fuel my legs with all these endorphins. That enables me to get up, stand, walk, go into the gym. When I'm in the gym, I activate those endorphins by keeping everything in motion, whether it wants to or not. Believe me, if I tell you that I don't do this in the morning and I think I'm going to jump out of bed and run, I've tried it and I've just collapsed. And that's how I operate. That's the body.
Watching one of your crew, very big lady, what is it you think that just keeps her going?
Hope. She doesn't need no super shake, no wonder drug, no wonder pill. Hope that the team would look after her, and they do. In Influence, we provide that hope. She will be amazing when she crosses the line in New York. She will be amazing, you know. And you have a good look at what you've done and where you've been in life and what you've achieved and what you haven't. And everyone, even in our group, they need to go through that transition, which they will. Some have started, and that's another part that they talk to me about. How do I overcome this? My partner disagrees. My family doesn't want me. My doctor says it's no good. My. It goes on and on and on. That's fine. Those are their huge granite rocks that are sitting on their shoulders that they need to let go and take that step. And when they do, you know, they get to live. That's it.